So I have finished here round number 12, and we have a whole completed flower. It takes 2 rows to complete a flower. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be placing a flower here. So it's going to be in between the 2 flowers. So we'll be doing the same exact thing for the next 2 rows, but we're going to be placing them in different areas. So let's start. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to chain up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What we're going to be doing is we're going to go into this first double crochet, make a double crochet. We're going to be chaining 1 and 2, and we're going to double crochet. Here we go. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see. We're going to be double crocheting into this top part of this puff petal. So we chained our 2. We're going to go into this top part and make a double crochet. We're going to chain 1, chain 2, and we're going to go into the top of this second puff stitch and make a double crochet. And we're going to start by making the bottom portion now of the petals. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1, chain 2, and we're going to go back into this stitch right here and start our puff stitch. Yarn over, go into that loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into that loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into that loop, and pull up our last loop. So that's 3. Now we got to do it 2 more times. So we're going to yarn over, go into this next double crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the same one, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up our last loop. So now we got to go into this last double crochet here, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull up a loop. So now we have our 3 puff stitches all on our hook. What we're going to do is we're going to yarn over and pull through all of these puff stitches all at once. Just remember, take it slow when you're pulling it through. So we pulled through all of them. We're going to do a slip stitch, chain up 1, chain up 2, sorry, not 2, just chain up 1, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now we're going to yarn over, we're going to pull through all 3, slip stitch, chain 1, chain 2, and we just made 1/2 of a puff stitch flower in between our previous flowers. Let me zoom out just a little bit. So now what we're going to do is we chain 2, so we're going to go into this next top puff stitch right here and make a double crochet. And we did our first half. So now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1, chain 2, and we're going to repeat. So we're going to make 1 double crochet in the top of this puff stitch here. We're going to chain 1, chain 2, and we're going to start making another half of a flower in 1, 2, and 3. Yarn over, go into that same top of that puff stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, there's one. We're going to yarn over, go into this next double crochet post, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. We're going to go into the last double crochet post right here to make our third puff stitch petal. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull up our last loop. Now we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through all of those puff stitches. And we've created another flower base. So we slip stitch, chain up one, yarn over, and we're going to go back in to the top of this, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over one more time, and pull up our last loop. So now we're going to yarn over and pull through all of those loops, creating the fourth puff stitch for our bottom half of the flower. So now what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch, slip stitch, chain one, chain two. We're going to go into this next top of this puff stitch right here and place one double crochet, and then we're just going to repeat that going all the way around. So I'm going to do it one more time with you. So we put it in the top of this puff stitch. We're going to chain one, chain two. We're going to go into the next top of this puff stitch on this flower, make a double crochet. We're going to chain one, chain two, and we're going to start another base. So we're going to yarn over, go into that same spot we just put a double crochet, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, go in. Oops, what are we doing here? That was our last one. So we're going to yarn over and we're going to go into this next double crochet post, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. So now we need one more puff stitch. So we're going to yarn over, go into this next double crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. And now what we're going to do is first I've got to untangle this yarn. There we go. So we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through all of these stitches. And now we're going to make a slip stitch. We're going to chain one and we're going to go back into this. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull up the last loop. Yarn over, pull through all of those stitches, slip stitch, chain one, chain two. We completed another base of the flower. So we're going to go into this top part of the stitch and we're going to chain two and go and repeat and make the flowers. We're going to do this all the way around until we get back to the starting point. And I'll meet you back there. I have came to an end, so I'm going to chain one, chain two, and I'm just going to slip stitch into this third stitch on the chain 5, and there, let's see. So now you can see we've got a second round of flowers starting. So we did round number 11 and 12. Now we just did round number 13. We're going to do round number 14, which is completing the top half of these flowers. And then what we do is we repeat rounds 11 and 12, 13 and 14 to make the bag grow. So we're going to chain up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to double crochet into this first stitch right here with a double crochet. We're going to chain 1 and chain 2. We're going to go into this next double crochet with a double crochet. We're going to chain 1, chain 2. Now what we're going to be doing here is we're going to go into this double crochet with a double crochet. We're going to chain 1, chain 2, and we're going to start the top half of this puff stitch flower. 1, 2, and 3. Pull through all of them, slip stitch, chain 1, chain 2, and we're going to make another puff stitch petal in here. 1, well, it wants to work with me. 1, 2, and 3. Pull through all the loops, chain 1, chain 2. So we just did one top of this flower, and this is what it's going to look like. We're going to have this row, and then we're going to have these rows in between these flowers. So chain 1, chain 2, go into this next double crochet and make a double crochet. We're going to chain 1 and chain 2. We're going to go into this double crochet right here with a double crochet. We're going to chain 1 and chain 2, and we're going to go into the top of this to complete the flower. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. And there is one puff stitch petal. We're going to yarn over and pull through all the loops, slip stitch, chain 1 and chain 2. We're going to go back into the same one to complete the last petal. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. So this is our last puff stitch for this flower. We're going to yarn over, pull through all of those stitches, slip stitch, chain 1, chain 2. So we've completed 2 flowers. I'm going to show you how to do it one more time, and I'm going to meet you back at the beginning. So we're going to chain 2, double crochet into this next double crochet post. We're going to chain 1, chain 2. We're going to go into this next double crochet right here with a double crochet. We're going to chain 1 and 2, and we're going to be putting the petals, the top part of the petals, into this top right here. So we chain 2, we're going to yarn over, 1, over, 2, yarn over, 3. Now what we're going to do is we're going to yarn over and pull through all of the puff stitches. We're going to slip stitch, chain 1, chain 2, and we're going to make one more puff stitch. So we have 6 petals in each of the flowers. So we're going to yarn over, 1, 2, and 3. We're going to yarn over, pull through all of them, slip stitch, chain 1, chain 2. So that's what we're going to be doing for all of this row, and I'll meet you back here at the beginning.